welcome back to Minecraft. It's Zero here, and here's my third video. My plan for this video at present is to, excuse me, give you guys a tour of my map, and more specifically, explain the redstone workings of it. So we're going to start over here, and here's the dock. Come the next update, I have seen what's going to happen. Come the next update, these dispensers, I believe, will dispense a boat, and also, and move these pistons so you can't crash into them. And let's just, whatever. So yeah, dispenses a boat, and yeah. So, now moving on over here. There's no actual redstone over here, but I do want to give you guys an update of this part. Quarry. I've gotten it pretty deep so far. I may end up hollowing it out more, but we'll see. Essentially, what a quarry is just a big hole in the ground, as you can see. The map actually spawns with a almost pre-built hole for a quarry, so I decided to make it into a quarry. So that's that. And materials. Yes, I'm using ridiculously enchanted items that I created for myself. So, now we're going to move over back to the house. I will go over the mob spawner workings in a little while. So, I'm going to say this doesn't count as redstone because, let's face it, it really doesn't. But back here, what I really wanted to get was an industrial kind of look. So here's the chicken coop that I built. Fairly simple. These dispensers rely on redstone updates. With the, originally that, button was just going to be for the trapdoors, but it ended up that they dispensed, chickens from the mob eggs, just by pressing the button, so I decided to use that instead of a rapid pulser and cause lots of lag with it. So, you can tell, I don't know why, I just decided to have this, but this indicates that there are mob drops in the, bottom. So what we do is go down here, and these just use splash potions of harming to, kill the chickens. So, you just collect your drops, or the drops, and sometimes we end up with some over here as well. And then we go back up. I may or may not end up making a quicker way to get back rather than this ladder and door, but we'll see. So you go back, deposit the chicken stuff into the two chests. Oops. Labeled chicken droppings cooked/raw chicken. As you can see, I've gotten a lot already. And chicken droppings feathers. I decided to have a little bit of fun naming them. So let's just collect all these. And I'm going to fly out because it just makes more sense for me to do that. Yes. If you guys are wondering why I don't post videos very regularly, it's because, first of all, I don't remember. Second of all, I have things I like to do. A lot of the time I'm just playing on the server I host from my computer. No, it's not public. With my brother. So, yeah. And I just don't get a chance to record videos. So that's that. Let me just deposit these drops. So, going out to the next area. The next easily accessible area is the farm, and it's very self-explanatory. I'm just going to go into no-clip mode with zombies mod, and also Y and H to turn on the lights. H to turn on the lights, thank you. Very simple. All it does is run power to all these pistons over here. Actually, the pistons are underneath the ones that fire anyway. There are pistons that went sideways, but then I realized that would require tilling. So, here's a demonstration. Everything pops. You deposit the things where they belong. In the seeds chest and the wheat chest. And now we're going to go into here. All the grinder and generator. Generator will be last because that's my personal favorite. I want to save it for the last. Excuse me. So I also decided I wanted to make it so everything of importance on this map, that's where the generator is. We'll go over that later. I wanted to make it so everything on this map could be accessed without going outside. So that's why this tunnel is here. So come in, turns on the lights. Also definitely want to show you this. Fly. Oh god, lag. What? Okay, there we go. So before you get in, all the what is over? What's I know where I am. Where? I got turned around. So you go in. Wait, what? Hang on. Why is this not? Is this not working anymore? Just a second. I'll cut the footage to when I get it working. Alright, I fixed it. So, I think, anyway. So let's just make sure this area is working. Yeah, it's fixed. Alright. So, the problem was actually very simple. The problem was if we go down here, right where that block was, this line of redstone was connecting to that one over there. And I just broke it. Just a sec. Gotta fix that now. Where did that one go? That one went here, I believe. I think, yeah. So, yeah, that was the only problem that was going on. So, the way I've made it work is, when you walk in, the final one you step on, this one, it sends a line, it sends power to an RS NOR latch, a memory cell, which is a couple inverters hooked up together. And in doing so, it turns off, it's easier to explain. So here's the one you step on last when you walk in from the main entrance. It goes this, I'm just going to follow it. It goes down to here, which turns, oops, gotta get that back. Which turns off this torch, which would, and if that torch were on, it would, as well as sending power to this, keeping it off, it would send power down this line to all these inverters, shutting them off. Then when you walk out through that way, it goes down this line under this little archway, because that's what the space constraint I had, and turns off this torch, which in turn allows this torch to turn on, turning off all these lights. So we're going to seal up that little hole. And then, very simple, this is just to keep mobs out from spawning here and everything, and so you can get in. I really wanted to go with a kind of industrial look for this, so that's why it looks the way it does with all the iron doors. And button to exit the grinder area itself. And then when you go out here, I believe anyway, it should, yeah, it turns off all the lights. Either way you exit, it turns off the lights, and either way you enter, it turns off the lights. In my opinion, working with redstone is getting the signal from point A to point B in the quickest route possible. And here we are at the generator. And when you're working with pistons, like I am here, the idea is to have timing. Because timing is, in my opinion, the most important thing. So here what we've got is a 1, 2, 3 times 4, 24 tick, no, not 24, it's 26 tick clock that just keeps the current going. And so every 26 ticks, that's a unit of Minecraft time, I guess. Every 26 ticks, not clicks, it sends current down this line. And the first thing that happens, actually, I'm going to cut the footage real quick and empty out the generator. Wow, that took a while. So, anyway, what this does, and let me just get rid of some of the stuff. Alright, so what this piston generator does is, first, a block of cobblestone is generated when the running lava hits the water, and that block of cobble is then pushed out by this piston. It is then let's see how many ticks later. Looks like 3 ticks later, this whole row of pistons actually fires, and then wherever there's a block of cobble, it gets pushed forward until it actually hits these pistons. And I've figured out that this is the final block. This is where the block of cobble will go. That's as far as the piston would push it. But I put these pistons here so that when the row above it pushes them over, it ends up over here. So I'm going to start it up, and it's going to get really loud for me, but since you guys can't hear my audio, you won't hear it. In any case, as you can see, as these pistons are firing, they're pushing the cobblestone along, and I have timed this piston generator, I believe of the same scale, took upwards of like half an hour to fill the trough where it was, and I mean, it took me a fair amount of time to empty it, even though I was using TNT. By the way, all of this space, this was excavated by hand. I personally don't like the interface of MCEdit, so I don't use it. In any case, as you can see, it just finished that row. So because that isn't getting pushed anywhere, it's being pushed by the first piston over to here. So eventually, what'll happen is it gets up to here, and these fire in such a way that it pushes it up and then over, so it then gets pushed over to here. This piston will push it up, and it eventually just fills a big old block. So, when we come over to here, we see, while still dealing with copious amounts of lag, cobblestone. We've already got a bunch. Fun fact, if you put a block of TNT, here I'll show, inset into a full thing of stone, it'll actually blow a 3x3 cube. So go there, 2 deep hole, place your explosive, ignite the explosive, seal off, and it'll end up blowing a 3x3 hole in the wall. Ugh. This lag is really annoying. So yeah, that's all I had planned for this video. I'm just going to patch up this hole that I made. But just keep in mind when you're doing that, it has to be all stone or else it won't be so precise. But yeah, so that's all I had planned for this video. I can't think of anything that I missed. I honestly don't think there was. So that's all I had planned for this video, and I will see you guys all later. Thanks for watching. And yeah.